I'm happy to present to you one of our very own. She likes writing stories, and she writes stories, and today she'll be presenting a story for us. Although she has declined to read the story herself, but she did write the story, and her name is Tope Akinwande. Alright. So, reading the story, I'll present Aiz and Yvonne. Thank you.
The story is titled A Short Fiction Story. So, you may not be familiar with the time sweepers. The time sweepers are the people who sweep up all the time that is lost and wasted. You cannot see them though if you are in a railway station and you think you see something out of the corner of your eye. That will probably be a time sweeper, cleaning up around the bench you are sitting on. If you were to see them, you would find a small bluish person with an intent expression, clutching a broom and a mop. The men wear overalls, the women old-fashioned tweed skirts and scarves on their heads.
The time sweepers are present wherever time is being lost or wasted. There are always several in train stations and at least one in every doctor's surgery. The man who has waited so long to propose to his girlfriend that her hair has gone grey probably has his own personal time sweeper following him around. The woman who has spent 35 loathed years in estate agents dreaming of opening a florist calls the neighborhood time sweeper to sigh and fetch a bigger dustpan.
You should not feel sorry for the time sweepers. Through their work is menial. They are never sick. Do not worry that they are in the wrong career and have excellent working conditions, though what they do for leisure is unknown. They enjoy bank holidays off, which is why on these days there is so much more time than usual. At Christmas and New Year, the time sweepers have a week holiday. When they return to work in January, they face a vast backlog of time which has been lost, wasted and thrown away over the holidays. It takes them around 3 weeks to resume normal service, which is why January always seems to last longer than other months.
Times have been around forever. Though modern life has created wasted time in such large concentrations that in some places the time sweepers have been forced to industrialize their operations, buying a number of specialized compressing lorries similar to those used by ordinary bin men. They use these for the largest collections at prisons and shopping malls, two venues where the tide of wasted time threatens to swamp even the most dedicated operatives.
Where you too ask a time sweeper, they will tell you one surprising thing. Time enjoyed is never time wasted. Cleaning up in a large office full of staggering tedium, the time sweepers will pass straight away the desk of a woman who is reading a holiday catalogue under the desk, poring over photos of tropical beaches. They will pass by the next desk, where a man is enjoyably wondering what his mother-in-law looks like naked, and stop by the desk of the young woman who is counting every minute of the molting hours.
You may wonder what happened to the wasted time after it has all been cleaned up. Never fear, the time sweepers are ardent recyclers. It is collected, packed into large containers, moved to Liverpool dock, loaded onto a ship and taken to India. There, in a dusty industrial estate somewhere near Bombay, it is cleaned, sorted and graded. The most toxic and poison time, the residues of failed peace negotiations, wrongful imprisonments and truly poisonous marriages, is skimmed off and buried in a tank underneath a disused army base. There it will take 2 or 3 centuries to decay and become harmless again.
The rest of the time made up of stuff such as dull meetings, missed appointments, delayed buses and bad nights at the theatre is cleaned and put back onto a ship where it is taken to the Guangzhou Industrial Export Processing Zone. Here it is compressed and stored, awaiting redistribution. Around 20% goes direct to the factories of the Export Processing Zone, which has the world's highest productivity rate. A quarter is bought in the hard dollars by the Chinese government. 10% of the most concentrated stuff is sold to a cryogenics laboratory in California. Another 20 or so percent is almost discreetly sold to a variety of rich private clients, mostly old rich men who have married beautiful young women.
However, the time sweepers are not in it for profit. The money from these deals pays for their operations, including dusters, bin bags, overalls, and shipping. The rest is distributed to good causes. No one who gets any extra time has to fill in any forms or ask for a grant. They are all quite unaware that they are in receipt of assistance. One of these beneficiaries is a shabby and overtired scientist in a crumbling public laboratory outside Novosibirsk, who will be to find the vaccine for malaria. Another is a prostitute in a Nairobi slum who has fostered 17 children and who, despite 20 years in the business, never falls ill. A third is the Indian taxi driver in a cramped flat in Toronto, who, sending money home to his sick wife and children, is writing what will later be acknowledged as the greatest novel of the century.
Not all the recipients of the time sweepers largely are people. About 40 miles outside Timbuktu, a medieval mosque buried in sand receives a delivery every decade or so. Somewhere below the floor in the Aegean Sea, a Trojan galley is miraculously preserved in mud. Similarly, the time sweepers gift a little extra time to a temple in Mexico and preserves a haul of Dark Age treasure in the Galway block.
A certain amount of charitable time is kept back for emergency situations, both small and large. It is parachuted in times of desperation and has facilitated peace deals, changed battles, and allowed numerous fathers to make it to the delivery room in time.
The time sweepers are, by their very nature, a tidy and orderly sort of people. They wish that humans would think more about throwing away this valuable commodity, but don't expect it will happen anytime soon. By Tope Akinwande.